Hi, welcome back to meditation class. Hello, everyone. I am Grace. I'm your meditation teacher here tonight. And today is December 15th, if you're watching this in real time. And today is day 15 of the Activate Meditation Challenge. So if you missed it, you can hop in on this practice tonight, or you can just go to the playlist, start at the beginning, and go through them. They do build upon each other, but you don't necessarily have to do them in order, and you don't necessarily have to do all of them. I would love you to, but everyone works differently. So sometimes it's nice to explore one aspect of the meditation, go through that one a few times before you move on to the next one. And then other people want to do one a week, make it work for you. So if you're doing this in real time, we're doing one every day in December. Otherwise, enjoy the playlist and watch them at your own pace. So tonight we're going to be continuing to connect with the energy body, the energy centers in the body. So in a few videos back, or we begin talking about the root and we do a root meditation, I go over more detail about the energy body and what we're kind of referring to in terms of that. But just to briefly reiterate, we're talking about the energy centers within the body that affect our physical body, but they're also outside of us. They're connected to more of our spiritual body, as well as our emotions and our mental body. So, my intention with the Activate Challenge is to bring you guys different tools and kind of aspects of meditation that you can continue to practice on your own to activate your own intuitive gifts. So I teach a class that's called Spirit School. It's a psyche development class. So if you guys want to get real down and like real intense with this shit, I teach a whole class about it, and I'm going to be relaunching soon. So that's going to be fun, and I'll talk more about that in other videos. But kind of my whole thing with the podcast and everything I do and my one-on-one sessions, a lot of the work I do is showing people that they can connect with their intuitive gifts, whether you're wanting to pursue that work with others. Like I teach energy healing, so I have students who want to then become teachers or then become practitioners, and that's beautiful. But then there's other people that just want to use it for their self, for their family, for their own daily life. And that's what's so beautiful. And that's what I preached throughout this whole 15 days so far is that the reason we do these practices is, yeah, it's cool, it's exciting, but it's to take all those things and bring them back into our everyday life so that we can still be grounded in our human experience, but we're using our more enlightened skills to see how we can react better in situations. So some people deal with anger, some people deal with repressed sadness. Like everyone has one kind of thing that it's hard for them to connect with. And so sometimes meditation can unlock some of those things. So meditation isn't going to heal and solve all the world's issues, but it is going to, if you so choose to use it, give you skills so that you can deal with your problems more efficiently, more effectively, and in a way that feels just more comfortable for you. So that's kind of my whole spiel. Hopefully tonight won't be spieling too much. I spiel, I spiel, I spiel. I say a lot. But yeah, so tonight we're going to be connecting with the energy body and we're going to be all the way at the top. So we've gone through the root and up in our practices so far. And tonight we're going to be connecting with the crown. So the crown is like slightly above your head. It's not within your physical body, but it does connect to our physical body, as we mentioned before. So you can visualize this almost as if you're literally wearing a crown or a hat on your head. Like it's above you, but it is connected to that, your scalp, your skull, and all that kind of stuff. So the crown is connected as well to our intuition. We talked about that last night with the third eye, connecting with our intuition and our inner knowing and how our heart when our heart is open, it's easier for us to see. So the crown is also connected to our intuition, but it's also connected to our knowingness and our soul, our spirit. So, or our soul and our spirit are the same thing essentially, but when I'm referring to them, they are different. So our soul, this is just my definition. Everyone has a million different definitions for this. So when I'm saying this is what I'm talking about. Our soul is connected to our eternal self. So if you subscribe to the idea of past lives, we've lived a million different incarnations and we will continue to do so. And we're also doing everything at the same time. If you think about how time doesn't exist and then it gets all confusing and swirly and oh my gosh, what's going on? It's not that important to be able to differentiate the linearity of time because we're living in linear time. So let's just think about it as that. Okay. So we're thinking about it as past lives, even though technically there is no past. But let's not get too ahead of ourselves. So our crown, our soul, our aura is connected to that eternal self. So there's information in our crown that's connected to that like divine understanding of the universe. So you've lived a million times and you have all this wise information within you. And so we can tap into that. So it's kind of like that's the claircognizance element of it. So that's the people might call it a download. That's the divine knowing, the divine understanding. You just get it, but you don't necessarily know why you get it. Like someone asks you a question, you've never gone through this life experience before, and they're asking you for your advice, and you just pull out the best fucking advice out of your ass, and you're like, I don't know where that came from. That's the crown. That's the divine knowing. Like that is your soul. You knew that, but you, as you right now, might not know that. And I know that's confusing, but that's just kind of the basis of it. And so with the crown, yeah, it's also connected to our aura, and our aura has different layers to it. We'll talk way more about that in depth on my podcast. I have some future episodes planned. But there's different layers to the aura. So we're not going to be focusing on that too much tonight. We're just going to be focusing on the crown. So the idea that I like to visualize is almost like a little trap door or a little, um, like an old school attic where you pull the string and it comes down and there's a staircase. That's kind of how I imagine it at the top of our head. We pull open this and there's like a little staircase that comes up from the top of our head that takes us up to God, source, spirit, whatever you want to call that. And we're able to, yeah, have that stream of information just floating in. So that's what we're going to be kind of visualizing tonight. We're going to be connecting with the idea of information coming in through the crown. So you can imagine this like letters, like physical words coming into your head, or you can imagine it like energy, like it's flowing just like liquid. So I'll kind of walk you guys through that. And then we're also going to be working on visualizing. So the crown, visualizing colors. So the crown is represented by like white, like clear, like platinum. It's not, um, I would say, this is like kind of the color. It's like shimmering platinum, I guess. It's almost silvery, like a silvery clear color. So not white like my skin, I'm hella white, but or like a sheet of paper, but like chrome, platinum. Like there's a sheen to it, a shine to it. I'm an artist, so a lot of the information psychically that comes through for me as far as colors go is like through kind of the lens of paint. So, and I've talked about this before. So some people might have heard this example from me before, but there are certain colors that are called interference colors or interference. I'm not sure how you pronounce that, but it has a sheen to it. So when you look this way in the light, it looks green. And then you shift to this way in the light, it looks purple, like a gel pen. Have you guys ever used gel pens? I know you guys know what I'm talking about, like how it's shimmery, or an oil slick. Like it's raining, there's oil spilled on the ground, and there's like that rainbow color, but from one direction it looks one color and the other direction it looks another. These are like 75 examples to give you, but it is kind of like that. It's shimmering, iridescent, pearlescent kind of platinum. So that's what the imagery I want you to imagine. So we're going to be practicing here tonight about 20 minutes. So if everyone wants to stay seated, I'm seated in a chair. You can be like me, feet flat on the ground. We're going to do a couple breaths just to tune in. And then again, as I've said before, if you miss the other practices, just do your best to follow along with the words I'm describing. If you get tired, that's fine. If you get distracted, that's fine. Everything is okay. There's no wrong or right way to do it. And you might have physical sensations, you might not. You might see so clearly like a photograph, or it might be blurry, or you might not see anything. Everything is a spectrum and everything is okay. So that's my thing. And I say it every time, and I'm going to keep saying it because I need to remind you guys that there is no perfect, and everyone has their own experience when it comes to like metaphysical things or mysticism, spirituality. Like, yeah, it is kind of a science. It can be scienceified. That's not the word, but it can be, put into a protocol step by steps. But it is very much intuitive and dependent on you and your perception. So, like I just mentioned, I'm an artist, so I get a lot of these symbols through paintings or through um, colors that I'm familiar with through drawing or painting, things like that. Like if I get a symbol, it might be a very famous painting, and I know that very famous painting symbolized this, and there's all this history connected to it. It's connected to my understanding, my knowing. But when I tap in for other people, there'll be understandings that I'm not familiar with. And then I just have to explain to them the information I get, and they understand what I'm talking about. So that's why I give you guys 70 million examples. But let's get started. So everyone just close your eyes if you haven't already. Bring your hands to the top of your knees, and we're just going to take 5 slow, deep breaths. So rolling your shoulders back, spine up as straight and long as possible, while still remaining comfortable in your body. Breathing in through the nose, exhale out the mouth. We're going to do 5 breaths at our own pace. So breathing in, exhale. If you haven't already, taking that final breath, just settling into the body. I'm going to begin to describe some sensations and imagery. And again, just do your best to follow along. So imagine the sensation at the top of your head, the sensation if someone was brushing your hair. What would it feel like on the top of your head, the back of your neck, if someone was brushing your hair? What would it feel like if you were to run your own fingers through your hair, on your scalp, on your skull, behind your ears? Imagining the sensation of being in the shower and the warm water dripping on the top of your head. Imagine the sensation of walking down the street and it begins to drizzle light rain on the top of your head, on your shoulders. What does that feel like in your body? I'm just beginning to imagine now in your mind's eye, just right in front of you, as if you were looking out your eyes and looking at a piece of paper, that shimmering platinum color. Shimmering platinum white light, almost like silver, like ice, clear ice. We're just going to stay here about a minute, just doing your best to imagine it, feel it in your body. This platinum ice, the icy color. And now I'm going to begin to describe some images. So, again, see if you can feel them as well as see them. What would it feel like in your body to experience? So, imagining at the very top of your head, right in the center of your hairline, about 2 inches back, there's an acupressure point here that helps bring down stress and anxiety. But there's also an entrance to our crown, which I think is very interesting. So, imagining right there was a tiny little doorway. Imagining this tiny little doorway, like a mouse house or a doll house. Imagining if you opened that up on the top of your head, and on the inside was a small little staircase. And you're able to pull that staircase up and up and up and up, and it continues to stretch beyond our wildest imaginations, connecting us directly with our inner source, our higher self, the one that holds the divine understanding connected to our soul, to give us information that might be helpful, insightful, healing, interesting, relevant, worthy of describing to others. Imagine the sensation now of all the way up in the cosmos, millions and millions of miles away, the sun, the sun that sustains our life, that allows this whole planet to keep on living. Imagine straight from the sun these beams of light, solar frequencies, healing information, source energy is flowing down from the sun, beams of light, and now flowing down that exact pathway we traced, that exact little staircase that goes all the way into your crown, down the back of your skull, into the top of your spine, and flushes down the cerebral spinal fluid, flowing through the whole body, filling you with this source energy, source frequency, light healing, light codes. And we invite this energy to bring us information and healing, allowing us to break through barriers where we don't feel worthy of receiving this information. We feel like there must be someone in between. We are the medium. We are the in between. So let us receive the information. So some of you, this might come through words. So you can imagine words scrolling down into your body. Information, words, healing, information through words. Some of you, this might come through images, symbols, indiscernible imagery, memories. Some of you, this might come through almost like it feels like liquid rushing down your body, like warm liquid or like oil massage, flowing down the top of your scalp, all the way down your neck, down your shoulders, into your heart. And we're going to stay here about 5 minutes, just observing the sensations, observing the information, and seeing if anything sticks. Don't try too hard to hold on to it. Just like a dream, let everything come through and float by. And if you're distracted, if this feels difficult, just bring your attention, your awareness, just paying attention to your breath, breathing in and out, just focusing on your breath as the source energy flows down through the sun, flowing into our crown and throughout the body, emotional, physical, spiritual, mental, through the brain and through the brain waves, signaling through the body. Take a deep breath. We're just going to stay here another few minutes, feeling into the platinum energy, feeling into the source codes, the sunlight flowing into the crown of your head, imagining it just like that, like light shining on your skin. What does it feel like when you're standing out at the ocean and the wind is against your face, but you feel the sun on the back of your neck and you still feel warm? The warmth from within, even on the coldest of nights. Like standing in the snow, holding warm coffee in your hands, you feel that breath of fresh air. And you still feel the warmth on your hands, the warmth within, shining light, source codes, frequency, healing energy. Feeling the sensation at the top of your head. What does it feel like? Can you feel your hair follicles, your ears, the back of your neck? Allowing this energy to continue to flow to each of us individually, however long it is helpful. And when we're finished, we ask to call all our energy back to the body. Anything we moved or shifted, we ask to be released into the light, buried into the earth, to be recycled, renewed as a gift to the earth for sustenance, and healing. Any portals open during this work, we ask them to be closed now. Closing that little trap door on the top of your head. Imagining it closed, imagining it sealing over and grafting back to your normal skin, to your scalp, to your hair. It's there when you need it, but we don't want to keep it open all the time. We want to close it. Keep it open when we want to access it in meditation and readings and healing situations for insight information, but not all the time. We must close the doors that we open after we open them. And then when you're ready, you guys, you can slowly open your eyes. Taking a few more deep breaths, breathing in through the nose, exhale out the mouth. When I was little, my grandma would always get really mad at me, in a loving way, not in a bad way, but because I would always leave the cabinet doors open in the kitchen. Always leave the cabinet open or the dishwasher. I don't think we had a dishwasher at the time, but that's neither here nor there. But I would always leave the cabinet doors open, and then she would go around shutting them after me. And she had her reasoning behind that as far as like keeping it clean and stuff. But it has reminded me so much that um, there's always a cleanup after you. If you're keeping these spiritual doors wide open, someone's going to have to move and shift that energy. So someone's going to take on that energy, and it's probably going to be you, and you're going to be tired. So, it can be hard to clean up after ourselves or shut the doors or take that little extra step. But just like we do in our real life, we want to do it in our spiritual practices as well. So closing the doors and yeah, calling all your energy back to you. So thank you guys for joining me. That was really, really beautiful. I ended up doing some light codes. So the weird chanting stuff, that's what I'm doing. It's healing energy and it's cosmic frequencies. And if you have questions, I'll talk more about it in detail in a video. But light language, light codes. I call them codes because that's what they look like to me. Like they look like, I don't know how else to explain it other than HTML. Like it looks like HTML in alphabet soup. That's exactly what it looks like to me. So if you ever had alphabet soup, it's like that Campbell's soup or whatever. I haven't literally seen any in years, but it's something that you definitely eat. Like when you're a little kid, you've probably seen it, but it's just soup that has letters in it. And it's very specific. So you guys know what I'm talking about. They look like that. Or, Lucky Charms or something where there's different symbols, but it's in that kind of chunky font, bubble letters almost. But it's like HTML font, like scrolling, but they look like alphabet soup. So that's just how my guides show it to me. But yeah, light language. whatever you want to call it. So let me know how you feel after that. It felt really good for me. So thank you for joining me. So we finish up our energy center stuff. And so tomorrow we're going to be talking more about some journey work. And like I mentioned, we're going to be doing a little inner child stuff, little Akashic Records past life stuff. So we're going to be getting weird and out there. So I'm excited. I hope you've enjoyed the practices so far. If you've missed some of them, there's a playlist of everything on the main YouTube, whatever, so you can find them all. Otherwise, if you guys have questions, put them in the comments, email me, all that kind of stuff. And yeah, new podcast just went up today with Mel Beam about astrology and herbalism, and it's really fucking good. It's one of my favorite episodes I've ever done. So I'm really excited to share that. So if you're into that, you want to listen to me talk more, but mainly you're going to be sitting Mel talk because it's an interview. But it's more of a conversation. My episodes are more casual conversation than interview. It's kind of like listening to friends talk is the whole kind of thing. But if you're into that, check it out. Otherwise, I'll see you guys tomorrow for day 16. So crazy. So thank you for showing up for yourself. Thank you showing up for me. And I'll see you in the next practice. Have a wonderful night, everyone. Happy December 15th. I forgot what I was going to say, but happy.